This is In the Black with T. Dallas Smith. Conversations with trailblazers, glass ceiling breakers, and champions for change who inspire and cultivate leaders every day.
My guest today is Chris Womack, the chairman, president, and CEO of Southern Company, a trailblazing leader who has dedicated his career to empowering progress and brightening lives across this nation. From humble beginnings in Greenville, Alabama, Chris's journey has been one of vision, determination, and unwavering service as he joined Southern Company over 30 years ago. And through a succession of leadership roles, consistently broke new ground and elevated the company to new heights of excellence. Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Pleasure to be with you.
Hey, man, I'm excited to have you on. So, Greenville, Alabama.
Do you know where that is?
I have no idea where it is. I have no idea. So you got to tell us about Greenville, Alabama, and how it shaped you, how growing up in Greenville has shaped you as a leader.
Dallas, Greenville is about 50 miles south of Montgomery, Alabama, down Highway 65, down south on Highway 31, which was the road we used to travel before the interstate system. We had a glove manufacturer there for a while. So, a lot of the southern towns, they had a bunch of sewing mills. And so we had one, but it didn't last very long. So the town was mostly agriculture, some farming. And that was kind of the makeup. My mom was a teacher. My grandmother, I grew up with my grandmother and my mother. My dad had migrated up to Michigan to work at Pontiac Motors. But my brothers and I, we stayed in Alabama with my mom and my grandmother. We grew up on the land, man. We did the real simple things of life. I had gardens. I raised chickens. I hunted. I fished. I played baseball. I played football. Man, I was outside all the time, just doing the real simple things of life. I went to church all the time. A big day for us was going to Montgomery to Alabama State University to see football. I mean, HBCUs is what we grew up doing. We drive down to Tallahassee and see Alabama State play Florida A&M, see the Rattlers. And so, those are the things that matter to us. And we get excited about uncles and aunts and coming back home from the north and bringing new things they had become aware of and had been exposed to. And, we enjoyed those things in the country, man. I grew up eating a lot of country food, man. That was my upbringing.
Yeah, man. And your favorite country food, your favorite delicacy is?
Hey, Dallas, so every Sunday, we'd have beef neck bones, collard greens, cornbread, and it was macaroni and cheese. And so it was incredible.
Well, I see the smile on your face, so it's definitely a happy memory, man.
No question. On Sunday, coming back from church, man, you go in the pot and you grab your beef neck bone, man. That was special.
So help the people who are listening to this podcast understand, how does one from Greenville, Alabama, end up being the CEO and president and chairman of the Southern Company?
So when I joined the company, I came to Alabama Power in a governmental policy role. And I had worked on Capitol Hill in D.C. before I joined the power company. So I came in working in the governmental affairs organization. And so I joined the company after working in D.C. for a while and always had this desire to return to Alabama and to kind of live in Alabama and have that experience and make my contributions to help Alabama be a better place. Also, my wife was from Tennessee and we had our first child and we wanted to be closer to grandparents. Grandparents had meant a lot to both of us growing up. And so we wanted our children to be exposed to their grandparents. And so Birmingham, Alabama is where I returned to, was equal distance between Chattanooga, Tennessee and Greenville, Alabama. And so it was kind of a good location for us to return to as we decided to come back to the South. And so that's where we set up shop after leaving D.C. Dallas is there's not one simple, singular answer to that question.
It's never a straight line, right? It's never a straight line.
Yeah, it was never a straight line. It was a very circuitous route. But I'll tell you, a lot of it was grounded in faith. And so that's always been a big part of my life. Also, a lot of hard work. And my grandmother, like I said, we grew up with a very, very simple life, but I felt like we didn't lack for anything. I felt like we were special. I felt like we had all that we needed. And my grandmother always said, me and my brothers, we could be whatever we wanted to be. Now, growing up, I didn't know that being the CEO or working at the power company would be an option for me. All I saw were preachers and teachers. I mean, those were the kind of honorable professions and what I saw. I mean, I didn't see doctors or lawyers or business people. I didn't see that. I did not get exposed to that from an African-American perspective. So this is a journey that was not charted for me, that was not planned out, and was not expected as I was growing up in South Alabama.
Maybe we ought to back just a little bit. You were in D.C. working with Leon Panetta?
Learned a lot from Leon, learned how to work, learned the importance of working hard and working with others very well, and got involved in the political environment and learned how to work across the aisle and learned a lot. I started that when that was back in 1979. So I was 21 years old when I was doing that. And so it was eye-opening for me to live in D.C. and all the things that it had to offer and work the whole Capitol political experience. But it was very, very enlightening and kind of altered my path and probably to some extent set my path in terms of what would happen to me in the future.
You were that sounds like you were straight out of college.
Yeah, I left college and came straight to D.C. afterwards.
And you graduated from where?
Western Michigan University up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I had the opportunity to go to University of Alabama. And I still not sure why I didn't go, but the racial climate in Alabama back in the mid-'70s wasn't very positive. And I decided I wanted to have a different experience and get out of the state for a while. And so I ended up in Michigan. I had become familiar with it because of older brothers and cousins and my dad living in Michigan, so I become familiar with that part of the country. And so it was seemed to be kind of a better place, a better environment for me to go to school at that time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I know that the MO for the Southern Company and Georgia Power seems to be they put you in a lot of different jobs and move you from this place to that place to get a real, I guess, a well-rounded 360 tour of the energy company. What was your favorite job, not your best, but your favorite job you had before the one you have now? And what was your worst? If you can say.
I didn't have a worst. Every job I had has been incredibly exciting and beneficial and a learning experience. My best job, I had the opportunity to run the power plants in Georgia. The individuals, the work ethic, the culture, the results every day. I mean, modifications we made on power plants to reduce emissions, and to improve output and productivity and performance of the units. I mean, it was just every day. It was just a wonderful working experience. And so, I mean, that was my favorite role. I also led the Human Resources Organization, which was also, for me, a perspective on the importance of leadership, the importance of succession planning, the importance of making sure we have competitive benefits for all of our employees, the importance of culture. I mean, so that too was a wonderful role. And I've been in a number of the business units across Southern and a lot of different organizations, probably 12 or 13 jobs I've had. And so I've had a good feel, a good exposure all across the company. I know it and the people know me. And so it's been a wonderful ride. And all those jobs have been very helpful to me with the job I do now as CEO.
It has been an amazing journey, no doubt. But I would ask you as CEO, what do you see as the top priorities for the future for the Southern Company?
Southern Company is a great company, and we have an incredibly bright future. We operate across the country, but our regulated businesses are in wonderful vertically integrated markets that we have constructive regulatory environments. We're a growing part of the country. We have a solid customer base, and we have all the things that support a wonderful success for our company, and making sure that we keep customers at the center of everything that we do. But we have the opportunity to grow this business. I tell you, we were honored earlier this year with recognition by Fortune magazine as being the number one most admired utility company in their survey. And that is a clear reflection of the 27,000 men and women providing just incredible customer service each and every day, collaborating across the business, making sure we're paying attention to the right issues to deliver value each and every day. And I think we're in such a wonderful position to continue that legacy as we go forward. I mean, we see growth in our territory, which is exciting, which gives us the opportunity to put downward pressure on rates for our customers as we embrace new opportunities for the services and the products we provide. So I think we've got just an incredible bright future, and it all starts with making sure that we maintain this deep commitment to our customers and providing them with world-class premium service.
Yes, sir. As they say, we never do it alone. Who are some of your mentors over the years that you can say help contribute to your leadership and your leadership style? Some of the people that you've learned from.
I mentioned it earlier, but I learned a lot from Leon Panetta. I learned a lot about hard work, and because on Capitol Hill we worked a lot of long hours, and we saw issues, we saw items, we saw policies that were working, or we saw policies that were not working, and so we were always challenged to change things and make things better. And so no matter what it is, I mean, I think you look at situations and not just accept them for what they are, but for what they can be. And so I got that instilled in me at a very young age as I came out of college working with Leon. I also learned a lot about working with different people and different political affiliations and different perspectives. And so I think that has served me well as I have gone through this company. I also had the opportunity early on in the early stages of my career to spend some time with Earl Graves, former CEO, publisher of Black Enterprise magazine. And he became, and his entire family kind of embraced me and became wonderful supporters of mine. And I learned a lot from Earl in terms of the business environment, engagement with other business leaders. Got exposed to the Ken Chenaults, got exposed to the Jim Cashes of the world, just a lot of people that otherwise I would not have gotten exposed to, and just had an opportunity to be in their company and listen to them and how they addressed issues and led their businesses and their leadership styles. And so a lot of that exposure has been just very helpful to me as I have served in this company and progressed to different roles.
Oh man, that's awesome. The Earl Graves, that's one of the gold standards in the marketplace, hands down. And I think you've spent a little time with Herman Russell, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in Birmingham, and Herman came to Birmingham to do a couple of projects. When I first got to know Herman, he was actually building a senior citizen facility project that our company at that time was a principal in being a part of. And so I got to know Herman in Birmingham and spent time with Herman, with Earl Graves, and I mean, just what a wonderful experience that was. Also with A.G. Gaston. So, I mean, to have the opportunity to get exposed to some of those pioneers from an African-American business standpoint, I can't speak to how valuable and how enjoyable that was to have those kinds of encounters. And then I spent more time with Herman after I moved to Atlanta. And he would always call me young fella, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
When you think about guys like H.J. and A.G. Gaston, when there weren't really rules on the books that say you need to be treated nice, fairly, or anyway, these guys overcame all these situations. I think there's lessons to be learned there, and I'll see if you'd like to add on to that statement.
And T. Dallas, man, I go back to it. Those guys worked hard, man. I mean, and there was just no substitute for hard work in terms of for them to accomplish what they did. They had to have They had to have vision. They had to have persistence, staying power. They had to overcome all the resistance that was in the marketplace and in the world during that time. But they stayed the course. But they worked well with others. They built relationships. And there's just, once again, I think as we operate whatever environment that we operate in, one of my lines inside the company is I can't do anything by myself. And so I have to have wonderful, good, solid relationships with others to accomplish anything that I want to accomplish. And I saw that from Earl. I saw that from HJ. I saw that listening to A.G. Gaston. They couldn't do anything by themselves. And the other thing that I saw from them and read and learned from them was their desire and their commitment to help others. It was not like, okay, I'm gonna get mine, I'm gonna close up the shop and take my marbles and go home. It's just also a real deep commitment to help somebody else, whether it was young brothers and sisters or the community or the church or whatever. Just a deep passion they had for giving back and for helping others. And they took pride in it.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Chris, hang on. We have to stop here. But coming up next time on In the Black, we'll delve into the significance of fostering hope in the younger generation with Chris Womack, Chairman, President, and CEO of Southern Company.
I think it's important to create hope for people, that there is more to life ahead of them than what they may see today. It's not certain, but I think if they buy into this hopeful future, this hope for the future, they've got a good shot, I think, at pursuing opportunities and being available to embrace opportunities that match up with what their desires are.
This has been In the Black with T. Dallas Smith. To find out how you can change the dominant narrative in the commercial real estate industry and challenge the status quo to improve the lives of others, go to tdsintheblack.com. In the Black with T. Dallas Smith is a production of Forbes Books.